We are following a very destructive model of development. It is the model of development that has caused this climate crisis, which in effect is putting the existence of the earth into danger. The other shocking data is about the biodiversity loss, as being feared that under the highest greenhouse gas emission scenario, 50% of all species will be losing most of their suitable climatic condition by 2050, which means that 50% of all species may just disappear by 2050.
Ecocide refers to the worst examples of harm to nature. We could be talking about serious deforestation, about the destruction of marine ecosystems. Think of maybe Deepwater Horizon or Fukushima. Ecocide means unlawful or wanton acts committed with knowledge that there is a substantial likelihood of severe and either widespread or long-term damage to the environment being caused by those acts. Decades of repeated destruction of ecocide over many years, committed repeatedly and relentlessly, is a direct cause of the global crisis we're now facing. And we can reduce greenhouse gas emissions as much as we like, but if we don't stop destroying the ecosystems around us, it's going to be impossible to make the kind of difference we need to make.
If ecocide continues, we will make the earth unlivable. We will all be inhaling poisonous air. We will not have safe water to drink. We will not have enough agricultural land to grow safe food for ourselves. We will compromise greatly with the right of survival of the next generation. Agricultural lands are heavily contaminated with chemical pesticides and fertilizers, which means that we are not growing safe food for ourselves. If we continue to emit greenhouse gases the way we are doing now, it will lead to sea level rise. If their sea level rises above 1.5 meter, 52 island countries will disappear from the globe. We will lose 52 distinct civilizations, 52 or more traditions and rich history. So if we do not address ecocide, we will not only be losing countries, we'll be losing cultures, we'll be losing traditions. That's something we must not allow to happen.
Stop Ecocide is an international campaign and rapidly growing into a global movement with a single, very simple aim: to make serious harm to nature a crime at the international level. Ecocide law helps to mitigate the climate crisis because it's addressing one of the root causes. If we only address reducing emissions and we pitch it as something that everybody should be doing in their individual lives, we're going to miss some of the root causes and some of the key players in creating all of that.
We are trying to prevent activities that damage the natural systems, the oceans, the seas, the aquatic life, the forest, the biodiversity. So ecocide, if that's given legal recognition, that will convey a very clear message to the plunderers that our earth is not for sale.
Criminalizing ecocide at the highest international level can have several effects. First and foremost, it creates an enforceable deterrent for key decision makers, because international crimes are aimed at those people in positions of superior responsibility whose decisions can affect huge projects. Just as with the international crime of genocide, one doesn't prosecute the foot soldiers, but the controlling minds. These could be corporate actors, they could be government ministers, they could even be heads of state, but it has to be an actual person as opposed to a corporation or a government. It would be the key decision makers in a given project that would be held personally, criminally responsible for severe harm. And that's hugely important because at the moment, severe environmental destruction continues with impunity around the world. The International Criminal Court is the only global mechanism which directly accesses the criminal justice systems of its member states. So if you make something a crime there, any country which ratifies it must include it in their own domestic legislation. And that's very important with environmental crime because some of the worst offenders are transnational corporations.
It is powerful because it is demanding accountability and is trying to put an end to the culture of impunity. It is questioning the inaction against crimes that were being done to the Mother Earth in the name of development and economic prosperity.
By criminalizing serious harm to nature, you're creating a shift in mindset, and it's one that's absolutely fundamental to us moving into a different space as a human species in relation to the world around us.
We must organize ourselves. We must always remember that it is them who are doing the wrong, it is they who are committing the crimes.
This campaign has become a global movement, and it's been a gigantic dot-joining exercise that's been nothing short of inspiring in itself. Ecocide law can support all of the targets for the Paris Agreement, for the Convention on Biodiversity, the UN Sustainable Development Goals. But without this law in place, it's difficult to see how those things can be approached, because it doesn't matter how many emissions we reduce. If we are still destroying ecosystems, then the factors that exacerbate climate change will not be removed. But if we remove those underlying causes, such as destruction of ecosystems, we have a chance to actually approach some of those targets. As soon as we understand this word, we have an intuitive moral response. This is wrong, it should be stopped. And so the more this word is used, the stronger this movement becomes.